Hello, and welcome back into my little home studio space. Today's consideration for the artists is still lives as a source of joy and meditative pleasure, hence an art meditation on still lives. Now, still lives are probably one of the exercises that is recommended the most and done the least by the amount of times that people both get recommended to do still lives, and also just how much they ignore that kind of advice. Like in multiple groups that I've participated in, it's almost like a running joke that the whole group is calling out for a few individuals who are always complaining about the same kind of things, and how, oh man, if you just did a few still lives, then you would figure out all these things in just a few hours worth of work. And all this time passes, and then finally they do a still life, and they go, wow, I really learned a lot from that. And I think the reason that there's this considerable gap between both what we are, offering, like, okay, just do this exercise, you will learn so much from it, and to people actually executing on that advice and actually committing to it and doing it, is because it's not presented in a very attractive way. A still life is seen as this almost dry academic exercise where, like, of course, oh yes sir, you will learn, but you have to do it in a very specific manner, and and you have to get like something really proper to look at. And the real truth is that let me show an example, like of some paintings that I made, of just like you looking up and you see your lamp and you're like, man, I love my lamp. I'm just gonna paint my lamp, and then you can get an hour or two going by that way. And so what I hope to present is just a way of using, not to take it as this big serious effort to commit to doing a still life where you're like, oh, I'll drown in this exercise. Rather, just like a little warm up. Like me, I'm fat from lunch and had a bit of a cake too, a bit of a self nourishing moment, and I'm like, well, if I just go cold back into the effort of making a painting, I might, it's a bit of a cold start. So you can take any object. In this case, I am gonna be drawing for this demonstration this little guy, and let me see if I can get him. It's basically you could say a fake bird, and I have actual proper things, but this bird that I got for like a few pennies basically. I just adore it so much, like with the little dumb eyes. I don't know. Like it's such a treasure. I've drawn him so many times over the last couple of years. So it's actually the object that I've drawn the most. But what I like about him is, of course, that it's just a little squiggle, like doop doop doop, and I'll show you. To get going and to get the drawing done. And because if we take it so seriously, it will become a big problem. Because in a way, still life, the way I would advertise it, is that it's a chance to be still in your life and appreciate the things around you. Like an example that always stood out to me, where like, oh, now I get it, was from a book by Alphonse Mucha Mucha. I mean, I might as well mispronounce him in two times, so it's unsure. And in the book, he basically has 3 examples of how you can design a book, And I was like, I've never thought about drawing a book like that, because when you look at the wall, but he just took it open and he designed the shapes in it. I mean, I was really inspired by those drawings, and since then it's like, well, if you take something that you dig and you just put it up and you draw it and you design it, it can be a tremendously amusing thing to do. So, in this case, our little bird here, let me get him on here, so hopefully I won't have too much trouble. It's also a great demonstration because if you make a big mess and it has to be very accurate, then you can get very nervous, you know. But not me. I feel confident, even though I haven't drawn in a while. Like, he was actually covered in dust for the shame. Like, fantastic. So when it really comes down to, it's just a few marks, perhaps, to just looking at the thing. I mean, you can appreciate your plants. You can appreciate. I mean, there's such a host of objects, and like pretty much anything that you're using in your daily life, you can draw. And it might be like, if you put a bag up, like, you can make a drawing that's informative to yourself also. I mean, this is a simple bag for pencils, right? But if you really look at it, you can learn quite a lot about the construction of any fabric, really. How zippers work. Like, if you actually sit down and draw the zipper, like, you will learn something about how a lot of objects in our world are constructed. Like, it's not just clothing that needs zippers. It's anything you want to close and open again quite conveniently, like jackets and stuff. A digression. So, the little demonstration, right? And of course, the same rules applies with any meditation. We are focusing on drawing with and using our breath to remind us that we are in fact still a body. So just a few deep breaths, and that gets me going, at least now. Now let's see here. I'm gonna get a close-up and also have it up here, so you might also, if you're feeling inclined, you can take a little screenshot of that and draw along. But he's got these little loose feathers around his head, which of course are because he's been damaged over the years from my handling him. But I think there are a lot of acceleration to his face. And now, when you are drawing anything, you also can remember, I mean, it's not just because, like, it's not simply like a mistake. It's also like, once you're familiar with something, you can try to draw and play around with enhancing certain shapes. In the case of this beak, it's really a shape that's quite thin, because it's a plastic model, right? But if I draw it precisely, I mean, I feel like it doesn't look it doesn't look like anything special. But then, because it's like an invitation to play, I mean, you can open the mouth, you can close the mouth. I mean, just see the shapes for what they are. So, okay, this is a good angle, because the beak is easier to draw from this angle. And you don't want to do something complex and difficult. You just like make it as simple and like cruisy, and like you just like taking your pencil out for a little walk across the page, and maybe something that will look like something comes out of it, but it doesn't need to, you know. What a joy it is to draw this bird. Do you have an example of just drawing, something short and sweet, and and you can fill out a page doing this quite fast, and just like maybe the beak would be funnier. I mean, I think this is a quite fun shape. It's almost like a combination of two or three birds all at the same time. Of course, it's not really a very accurate and precise replica of any kind of bird at all. So yeah, that's just a little primer on staying still and noticing the things that you actually find interesting around you, and really I was almost shocked when the first time I really discovered this mentality surrounding doing still lives, of just like, oh, just look around and draw everything that you find interesting in your room, for instance, or like if you are outside, you just draw everything you find interesting, and you will see that a lot of things that previously were perhaps just mundane or normal things, if you just like place a cup in a you can make everyday objects be very dramatic and unnecessarily so. I mean, you can make any picture with anything, and it's just like I feel like there's a moment where every artist has like a point where they see something like a wall, and then it doesn't catch their eye, but then months or weeks later, suddenly like it's the most interesting thing that they've ever seen, and you just do a little study, and you don't need to do more. It's really great. So drawing from life shouldn't be complicated. It's a good time, and you can really do what you want, and of course you don't have to show it to anyone. It's just for your own enjoyment. I mean, if art can be anything, why not be pleasurable? Oh yeah, and because this guy, I upgraded him with some proper legs so that he can be worn like this, and then you can have, I can have a friend. Let's see, I hope this shows. You can have someone hold it, and it's like they can feel very special with a bird on their hand, and if I'm just sweet enough, maybe I can have them hold it for quite a while, and then they come they come around, like, can I see the drawings? And it's just the bird. That's how it goes. Well, enjoy drawing, and take care, and let me know what interesting things you found around your place and around your house, and have a good day, and see you.